Welcome to Tail Talk Grooming Chronicles with Hound Therapy, the podcast where we talk all things pet grooming, daycare, academy, and more. Hosted by Shannon and Tanya of Hound Therapy, serving pet owners across North Texas. We're here to share expert tips, hilarious pet stories, and the inside scoop on keeping your furry friends happy and healthy. Our motto, humanity over vanity. And don't worry, we don't bite. Let's get started.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Groomers and business owners ultimately want the same thing: thriving pets, happy clients, and a successful shop. Yep, communication gaps can create real tension. Shannon and Tanya break down how both sides can meet in the middle to build a healthier, more productive grooming environment. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sophia Yvette, co-host and producer, back in the studio with Shannon and Tanya, professional groomers at Hound Therapy. Hi, ladies. Great to be back with you both today. Now, let's keep the momentum going with today's topic. How do we bridge the gap between groomers and business owners?
Well, I've been both. Obviously, I own a business and I've been a dog groomer for many, many years. And I've worked for non-groomers, I've worked for groomers, I've worked for myself. One of the biggest problems in our industry isn't necessarily the grooming. It's a communication that we have, between the people who are grooming the dogs and the salon owners that own the shops where these dogs are getting groomed.
And truth is, usually they're saying the same thing. They're just have completely different perspectives on the topics.
Yeah, everyone wants success, right? I mean, we just have a different way of defining it, and that's kind of one of the biggest things. I think it's one of the biggest hurdles to overcome. Groomers think one way and owners think another. If a groomer's in the shop, what's the first thing on your mind?
Safety.
And for me, it's going to be payroll. I'm going to be like, okay, great. You want to be safe, but we have to have dogs that are coming in, right? We still have to take dogs. So I get that you want to be safe, but as the owner, I may not understand what she's saying by she wants to be safe, and she may not understand what I'm saying that, well, we still have to make a profit.
Yep.
Um,
Second is quality. I'm worried about the quality of the groom.
and I'm worried. Are we charging enough for the amount of time that she's spending on this one dog? And so we're saying the same thing. I still want that dog to come back to us. I still want the quality and I want her to do the dog. And I definitely want her to be safe because if something hasn't happened, I don't have a groomer, but she's more worried about
The comfort of the dog.
and how good that dog's going to look because she's being judged by the appearance.
Yep.
Um,
Realistic schedules. I'm trying to get 5 dogs done a day, or 6 dogs, or 8 dogs.
and I'm preferring, 8 dogs doesn't seem like a lot of dogs to me. I don't understand why in 8 hours a day we can only do 8 dogs. That's 1 dog an hour. So 1 dog an hour is not going to meet profitability or payroll. So we have to figure out what it is that we're going to do so that we can grow this business. She obviously you still
And-
want to grow, right?
Yes,
Because
yeah.
so what do we do to bridge that gap? And those are just common questions that are asked by both sides.
Yep.
Reality is that we can do both. You have to charge an appropriate amount. You have to have maybe more than one groomer. You have to have somebody that works together with them. You have to have real life communication. Tanya said something earlier today about groomers who work for salon owners who primarily are not dog groomers. And that's just because anybody who's groomed a dog usually understands
What it takes to groom a dog.
right. If you're a non-groomer who's never groomed a dog before and you own a grooming salon, there is an even bigger hurdle to take on there. One of the things Tanya mentioned was groomers are not always heard,
Yeah.
right? She feels like she has worked for some places, and I'll let you give.
Who didn't hear you? You have a dog that is trying to bite you, that's trying to jump off the table, and it is simply not safe to groom this dog. And you go to that business owner and you're like, hey, I can't groom this dog safely. We need to send it home and, refer it to a different salon that can groom it. And your owner's sitting there going, "Well, why?"
I mean, yeah, nobody wants to send, money out the door either. Nobody's wanting to send that dog home, and nobody's wanting that dog to take their business
Mhm.
elsewhere. So we need to have a way around that, right? We need to have protocols. We need to have systems. What happens if this happens? How can we dance around it? How can we educate the owner about their dog? These are all things that are just usually left on the table, and you have a black or white situation. And this is not at all that kind of business. It is 100% operated and run in the gray.
Complete gray area.
Um, there are groomers don't always make great managers, and
No?
there's a lot that has to be done for that, and a lot of managers are not great groomers.
Yep.
So learning how to make that the differentiate. Maybe you need a person that's kind of
A
you
both.
know a middle person that can talk to management and understands grooming. That's not a groomer. That's not management. There's a lot of ways around it. You can train any good groomer into being good manager, but they need to be trained on all of the things. Talent doesn't automatically mean that you know how to lead.
No.
Being good at what you're doing doesn't mean you know how to describe it, explain it, or put it across to somebody else. Managing people is a learned skill, and it's something that if you're a business owner, you need to teach that towards a
Yep.
groomer, and those groomers need to be willing to learn. So that said, you have somebody that has a ton of skill, and I've worked with many groomers
Yeah.
that have said, "I don't want to do that. I don't want the added responsibility. I, I don't want to manage. I don't want to talk to customers. I want to come in. I want to do my job,
And I wanna go home.
and that's great. Those kinds of groomers are great for certain shops. They're not great for shops who are looking for somebody who wants to lead. So that means you may need a second groomer to come in. And then you've got talent versus talent on top of who's managing this talent.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're back down to the gray. These are all things that we asked, ourselves what we do, and
Yep.
questions that are asked to me at least weekly by other business owners and other groomers that come in here. Like, what do I do if this happens? And I don't want to, I like my job. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I'm expected to do more than what I'm getting paid to do. And then you have a whole different a 50% versus an hourly. Are you employee? Are you, 1099? I have to have all of my own equipment, but I don't, there's so many questions.
Yep.
I mean, I could go on for hours. um, we don't have hours, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Good systems have good employees that give them more freedom.
Yeah.
A good business should be able to run without you, but you should understand that business. In other words, you need to be able to bathe a dog and dry a dog if you're the owner. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to do it for a living. It just needs to be understood that you're willing to do the work that you're
Yeah.
asking somebody else to do. That's my
And kind of understand when your groomers are coming to you
yeah.
saying something and like, "Hey, this is not safe." And if you do know tidbits of, what they're going through on the daily basis, you may be able to understand that just a tiny bit more.
I think that anytime I've asked anybody to do anything, I 100% can do their job. I will. If we are in the weeds,
She's not scared of it.
if I am a good waitress and my manager isn't willing to jump in and help me wait tables when we get really busy, I'm not going to continue to work there. I am not going to take orders or direction from somebody who doesn't understand what I do or isn't willing to help me to do it when it's needed. And I would give that back tenfold as well. So that is the type of business that we're running and teaching in here.
Yep.
We want other, grooming salons to follow suit with that versus this is your job. This is my job. You're just a bather. You're just a groomer. You're just a receptionist. We all work together to make a paycheck, to make the business
Yep.
successful. If the business is successful, we're successful and our clients are happy, we are happy. If our
Yep.
clients are happy, they refer us, then we get more business. And this is how we work talent versus business. It's a different kind of understanding. It's basic business, but it's basic business operated in the gray because what justifies a good groom?
Yep.
What is a good groom to you is not necessarily a good groom to somebody else. What are your standards
Yep.
in an overall look or comparison or what you offer or what's included in your packages, what type of products that you use versus, we're focused on selling this dog food. If your dog isn't eating that dog food, I don't know how you're going to sell it and talk about it. So if you're not getting your dogs groomed there, or you don't know how to groom at least your dog, or if you don't own a dog, then you need to jump in before you're going to be able to tell a
Yeah.
groomer on
How to do their job.
I mean, that's just common sense to me. And apparently it's not common sense to everybody. So we thought we would share that little bit today.
Well, ladies, this is such an important conversation. Thank you both for breaking this down so clearly. We'll see everyone next time.
That's a wrap for this episode of Tail Talk with Hound Therapy. Ready to book your pet's next groom, daycare stay, or grooming academy tour? Call us at 469-367-0009. That's 469-367-0009 to schedule an appointment. Or visit us online at www.houndtherapy.com. Serving North Texas with expert pet care. Until next time, keep those tails wagging.